And hello again, folks. Shell Busey here with my Shell Busey Home Services information, education, and referral. Because it's most important when it comes to referral, good, better, best. Why worry about the rest? When the good is better, the better is best. And with me is Geoff Phillips from Cloverdale Paints. How are you doing, Geoff?
How are you?
You know, it's absolutely great because when it comes to dealing with paint, it's so nice to be able to talk to a person like you that you've been with Cloverdale how many years?
18 years.
18 years.
And 40 in the business.
And 40 in the business of paint.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, paint is one of the, I would say likely one of the most character-driven, creative products on the market today. And Cloverdale has been manufacturing, and they've been staying ahead of the industry as far as types of coatings and stains and whatever.
I'd say that's
Let's
a fair
talk
statement.
about it.
Yeah.
What's happened new in the last couple of years?
We've relocated our head office. We're no longer at 6950 King George Highway. We've bought, our owner, Wink Vogel, bought the top floor of a building at Morgan Crossing. That's now our corporate head office, and we've taken the old head office and turned it into a research and development center.
Wow.
So that's exciting. Now, instead of our chemists being locked in this little room in the back, they have a fresh light. It's beautiful. It's got everything.
Yeah.
It's really
Well, I've been there. I had the
first
tour,
class.
and it's unbelievable.
It's first class.
And you know, that's what it's all about, is that whole industry is changing. And now I know over in Newton at the plant, now they have the labs there and the technicians. By gosh, you can go over there and talk to those people. And, well, I've had some experience with them, and it's absolutely fantastic.
And we can
Let's
get
tell
things
you about
done.
that one
We
day.
can get things done very quickly now, where before it was a bit of a chore because they just didn't have anywhere to work.
Yeah.
And now they've got this beautiful facility, and it's really paying off. I've had some special requests handled very quickly.
Well, you know, Geoff is a territory manager, and a territorial manager means that he's got all these stores that are owned and operated by management for Cloverdale Paint.
Correct.
And boy, there's a lot of years of experience out there.
Nobody leaves.
No, it's such a great place
It's
to
a
work.
black hole, yeah.
Well, you know, that's the paint industry, I feel. Let me tell you a little bit. I'll give you a Reader's Digest version of what happened here back a few years ago. And it's a really an interesting story. But I had a call from Tuckiacha, way up north in New Territory. And they have round wood posts of that's used as bullards along their walkways. And their walkways are wood. And as they have been installing these over the years, they're cracking, and they couldn't understand. So they received a program of mine called Home Check, the TV program. So they got in touch with me, and I said, well, you know what? Send me one, and or a picture of one. And they said, well, no, we can do better. We'll send you one. Well, arrived one day by courier, this great post 5 feet high, all decorated with the reflective ingredients on it for reflection along the roadways. And anyway, I had the lab technicians at Cloverdale Paint take a look at it, and they said, we can tell you exactly what's wrong with it. It was never end sealed.
Right.
And we got all that information up there. They took care of it. They sent us an email back saying, thank you, Shell. Everything is just top drawer. Cloverdale was phenomenal to work with. So that's just an idea. And that's the sort of thing you can do, folks, with a paint project. No matter if you're painting a fence, a stain, or a deck, or a outside wall, be it wood, cementitious, or whatever, your paint and your stains are manufactured local for the local weather conditions.
Correct, yes.
And that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the new additions to Cloverdale Paint. I know that you're down stateside now.
Well, we purchased Rada Paint. I don't know exactly how many years ago, but I want to say it was about 8, perhaps 7. They are a more family-owned regional company, just like us. We've purchased All Color in Ontario just recently. That gives us
that's new even to me.
larger presence in Ontario. We do have 3 stores in the Greater Toronto area, and one in Mississauga, which is again the Greater Toronto area. But that gives us 4. But this gives us some manufacturing capabilities in that market, which we didn't have before.
Now, is this going to be called Cloverdale Paint?
No, they're going to continue running as All Color.
All Color.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only one we absorbed and changed was Northern Paint in Winnipeg, where they became Cloverdale Paint. Everything else, we've let them keep their brand.
Wow, okay.
But we do own them.
But the Northern Paint is now...
It's now Cloverdale Paint.
Cloverdale Paint.
And that was when I first came along, so that was 18 years ago.
And what about Tower Paint?
Tower doesn't operate as Tower anymore.
No.
It's Cloverdale Paint. Yeah.
And that's in Edmonton.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things that I found that, the Tower Paints is an elastomeric paint.
Tower Thon, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Tower
one,
Thon,
that's we
yeah.
had that's was their formula when we bought them, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, the difference between a paint and an elastomeric paint is always something that the homeowner wants to know about. Isn't that correct? Yeah, and I can always see all the heads going, yeah. And it's, what is...
Basically, the difference in the products is really not that great. The difference, the elastomeric coating is quite a bit more viscous, meaning it's much thicker.
Yeah.
We normally would get a spread rate of 350 square feet per gallon. With elastomeric, you're going to get about 150. The big difference is the resin. We don't use an acrylic resin, we use an elastomeric resin. And what that is it's flexible. So you could conceivably, what we used to do for samples was we would paint a piece of wax paper with elastomeric coating, peel it off, you can stretch it to over double its size and it'll return back to its original.
Wow.
So it has memory. So if you have a lot of hairline cracking on your structure, this will bridge it, and as it moves, it'll move with it and not break.
Yeah.
Where a conventional acrylic coating will break down eventually as the movement continues.
So something in the form of a expansion products like cementitious, be it
Stucco is the main
stucco
one,
or
yeah.
whatever, yeah. And also you can paint wood with it, though.
Sure you can.
Yeah,
I don't know why you would, but you
Yeah.
could. The big application with elastomeric coating is building blocks. What's that? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Concrete blocks.
Concrete block. Yeah,
They leak
yeah,
like
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if you put the elastomeric coating on, it's resistant to over 100-mile-an-hour wind-driven rain.
Right.
So-
Now, decks, wood decks.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've come out over the last, I guess, 3 years now, if I recall correctly. But they got the shark.
Shark skin, correct?
Yeah. Boy, that stuff holds on like a
It sure
shark.
does, and we do warranty it for 6 years on decks. One of the problems we have, Shell, is, and the warranty is specific that all 6 sides must be painted. Well, normally people have nailed the boards to the deck before they put the shark skin on, so they don't get the underside. If the deck's 4 or 5 feet off the ground or more, that's normally not a problem.
Yeah.
If it's very close to the ground and there's no ground cover, we often have an issue because so much moisture wicks up into the wood, like in the tuck, that when the sun hits it in the spring, it does allow moisture vapor to pass through the film, but it happens so quickly it bubbles and breaks because
Right.
it can't happen fast. Now, lighter colors were okay because they don't absorb as much of the sun's heat, so they don't get as hot. But a dark color, I just went out to Sunshine Valley to look at
Yeah.
one, and only where the sun hits it. But when the sun goes down, it goes away. The bubbles go away.
Right.
But eventually, it will break down.
Right.
So-
Well, it's interesting though, and those are the things that I can recall when I was doing the radio program that we would talk about. The Cloverdale Paint is manufactured to adhere with the conditions of the weather in the area that it's being manufactured, and especially in the coastal communities and
Correct.
also throughout British
And
Columbia.
we also have some modifications. So we have our exterior line, and our exterior cover coat satin finish is actually a cold cure resin. So you can use it at 5 to 6 degrees Celsius as long as it's not raining, as long as the humidity isn't too high, and it will dry.
Yeah.
Now, if it goes below zero before all the water's out of the film, now we got a problem because
Yeah.
that water will freeze.
Right.
But it doesn't take that long. It dries quite quickly. The other new product we have is called Guardian. Guardian, you can introduce rain. Once it's dry, it won't have any effect on it, where a conventional acrylic coating, you have to let it cure a little bit more before you direct moisture
Yeah.
hits it. Where the Guardian is designed to be resistant to that. So that's a fairly new product. It came out this year.
Guardian, so we'll actually have some shots of that we'll be able to put right within this video.
Okay, great.
That way we can show the difference in what the
Yeah.
spelling and all that. But it's really, maintenance is something big on paint services today. Some people will call and they'll say, "Shell, how often should I wash my house?" And I said, well, once a year, at least, if not twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall. And why so often? I said, well, do you ever wash your car?
Exactly.
If
That's
you're
the
going to
analogy I
protect the
use.
paint,
Yeah.
you want to keep that residual Mother Nature off of it, be it
Yeah.
algae or whatever, especially on elevations like the north elevation and the type of weather, especially along the coastal communities, again, right next to the ocean, you're going to get that sort of thing. So substrates and all those different things, application tools, and all this talk about the proper paint, the proper sheen, the proper base coat, be it solvent-based, oil-based, acrylic, latex. What's all this business about paint and primer? Paint and a primer all in one.
Well, Shell, it's something that isn't possible. Paint and primer are two different things. I know it's a real buzzword in our industry, but you can't have paint and primer in one. It's just that simple.
Well, you know,
But what we do have is products that are self-priming, which means you don't need a primer. But it's not a primer, it's a paint. But some products, like our exterior satin, one of our top-selling products, will self-prime. You don't need to use a primer. In some applications you do, but most applications you don't.
Right.
But it doesn't mean it's paint and primer in one. It's still just paint.
but
Primers are specialty
the
coatings.
consumer, you know, they think paint
Well-
and a primer all mixed. I mean, what's the scoop on it? And that's what I like about Cloverdale. Bring it to a head and say, there isn't such a thing.
The thing about primers is they're a specialty product. There's primers that are made to block stains. There are primers that are made to be adhesive. There are primers that are made to be a barrier. Which kind of primer do you want mixed in with your paint? I guess is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
what they really should be saying is it's self-priming, which means you don't need a primer.
All the stores, the Cloverdale stores, have got quality people with knowledge. And I know you're train all the time.
Huge part of
which
our
makes,
business, yeah.
You know, and I quite often will say as well, in my blogs, I'll say to people, why would you go and buy carpet other than at a carpet store? So why buy paint unless it's at a paint store? I mean, sure, I'm not against stores selling paint, but it's a matter that you will find people with the answers to paint concerns at a paint store.
Exactly.
And that makes a big difference
Yeah.
on it.
They don't have to learn about anything else. They just have to learn about paint.
Yeah, good, better, best. Why worry about the rest? When the good
Exactly.
is better, the better is best.
You got it.
And that's what I always like to say. So, you know, folks, when it comes to paint and paint properties, how many stores across Canada now?
I'm going to say we're getting close to 70. We were 66, I think, probably 68 or 69, I believe.
So let's say around 70.
Yeah,
And
plus or
then you
minus.
got your other brands that are associated as well. Then back in Ontario, I wasn't all color. I wasn't aware of that
Yeah.
Big transition.
That was just we had our convention in February, and those people were there, and we had just finished the deal.
right,
so
right. Good
That's how
deal,
fresh
good.
that is, yeah.
And what about computer matching? Is that still available at the
Oh,
Cloverdale Paint
absolutely.
stores?
Oh, absolutely. It's something though that we like to tell people. The longer you leave that sample with us, the better your match is going to be. So
Just that easy.
They want to stand there and wait. They can stand there and wait, but we're not going to guarantee the match quality. But if you can leave it with us to lunch, we'll hit a bang on it.
Yeah, and what that really is, folks, that if you want to match any particular color, if you have a piece of fabric, if you have a piece of paper, a catalog with a color that you like, or carpeting, or flooring, you can take it into the Cloverdale Paint store, and they'll actually put it through the computer module.
They use a spectrophotometer. It just measures the color, and then the computer. I mean, I don't know how it works, but the computer figures that out, and it gives it a formula. And 9 times out of 10, the first one's pretty good.
Pretty
You know,
doggone
we need
good,
a little bit
yeah,
of tweaking,
yeah.
but it's pretty good.
So when it comes to that retail paint, a lot of people I know, they think that Cloverdale Paint is more of an industrial, commercial, but very, very consumer-orientated do-it-yourself market.
Exactly.
And that makes a big difference because there's a lot of color coordinators, people that are really creative in color and talking color to the homeowner and doing their swabs and what have you. I think it's really great. So, folks, when you're considering paint, hey,
Yeah.
Cloverdale Paint is really, and it's been part of our referral network for, oh gosh, years and
Yeah.
years and years now. And that's not the real idea. The idea of the service is good, better, best, why worry about the rest? And that is where I come in to say, hey folks, have you been in to the Cloverdale Paint store? Have you talked paint, stains, etc.? And good, better, best, why worry about the rest? As I always say, the how to, the what to, the where to, the why to, the when to, and guess what? The who to. Geoff Phillips and all his territory stores are there to help you. So DIY, do it yourself. Why hire a contractor when you can be doing it yourself? Because it is just that easy.
Just to go back to color really quickly, Shell. I like to suggest to people when they come in the store, we have those wonderful colored chips on
Yeah.
they're only that big. What we do is we offer a service for a very small fee. I think it's $7 or $8. We'll sell you a quart of that color. And you can go home and paint a wall because it's a way different than looking at
A
that little
quart,
chip.
too, I know, it's enough to
A
do
quart
it
of the-
all.
it'll do one wall, yeah.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
can really get a really good idea what that color is going to look like because everything's different. The lighting in our stores is neon. The lighting in your house is incandescent. If you're near a window now, you got natural light. Every bit of light source makes a bit of a difference on that color. So It's important to get it on the wall in your home.
See the professionalism that's associated with Cloverdale Paint, folks? Geoff Phillips, he's one of the teachers. He's one of those people out there helping you through those stores to get your color on your walls, on your ceiling, hey, whatever surface that happens to be. Jeff, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Great job. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
And
for having
enjoy that every time I have you in front of the camera. Hey, let's do it.
Thanks.
Thank you. There you have it, folks. We're going to be doing this from time to time and upgrading as well. So keep your eyes and your ears open and always on the website, askshell.com. It's just that easy. Talk to you soon.